I am responding to the media articles that is making the rounds in the country with regard to the case that we are investigating, which involves a famous person, Mr. Forbes, together with his friend who were murdered early last year in Durban, in KwaZulu-Natal. I want to bring to the attention of the public that the information that is making rounds in the media surrounding the arrest of the two individuals that were arrested in our neighboring country at Eswatini, that those arrests of those two individuals, they were arrested on a separate case. It is a case that involves a shooting that happened in Bria area, which happened last year around March, where two people that were in the vehicle were shot at, but they managed to drive until they stopped at Mbilo policing area, where one of the person was killed in that vehicle. So it is that case that we've been pursuing, and we receive the information of the whereabouts of the suspects, and we got information that the suspects are hiding in a neighboring country of Eswatini. As a result, we engage with the police in Eswatini in order to assist us to secure those individuals, and they've since secured them last weekend, and we are appreciative of their assistance in the fight against crime. So we're in the process of bringing them back into the country in order for them to be facing those cases that they have been charged with. So that case is not the case that involves the famous musician that was killed in South Africa. That musician was killed in a different area, which is under Durban Central, which is a different policing area in Florida Road, the famous area in Durban. I've said in the past that when the South African Police Service is ready to go to court, and after having engaged with the NPA as we are investigating the case that involves Mr. Forbes and his friend, it is a prosecutor guided investigation that we are busy with, and we're in a sensitive stage. And I've indicated before that there's so much of the information that the team continues to analyze, the data that we have in our disposal that we're analyzing, different video footages that have been watched, cell phone accounts or conversations that have been analyzed. We are in a sensitive stage. Despite some of the recoveries that we've had in the past, there's still other progress that we are making as a team. But until we are ready and we've collected all the evidence, we've arrested all the suspects involved in the case, and we are happy together with the National Prosecuting Authority, we'll be able to inform the family about the status of the case, and as well as the public at large through media houses that we will have effected an arrest and therefore be going to court. So I just want to assure the public that they must wait for us to finalize this investigation, and we'll be able to brief them. So the information that is spreading all over, it's not the true one. Those two individuals were not arrested for the same case. So that's all I wanted to bring to the attention of the public.
On the Troll.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us yet again for another one of the videos where we talk about very serious cases that are happening in South Africa, or rather cases that are of public interest. If you're a returning subscriber, you're a part of the Mzansi Reality family, welcome back. And let me update you on what happened yesterday, okay? There was a story that was breaking concerning AKA. A lot of reports were coming in and it was breaking news. But it seems that it wasn't exactly how it was supposed to be. The way the news were reported, it was kind of strange because they came from Eswatini. It was breaking news from a Eswatini newspaper, and then the commissioner kind of debunked the story. You know, he said that yes, there were two people that were arrested in Eswatini, but they are not with regards to this case. So guys, let me unpack for you what happened with this AKA story yesterday. And I'm sure you saw the reports that AKA's killers had been apprehended in Eswatini. Then jiggy, all of a sudden those people who were arrested, they are not the people that are suspects for the AKA murder case. They are suspects for another case, right? And they have the similar, you know, kind of description of what the killers of AKA kind of look like. Maybe that's where the mishap was, but I don't know if enough research was done or what was happening there. But yeah, I first saw the story as it broke out It came from a publication from Eswatini, the Times of Eswatini, and it reported that the police in Eswatini had arrested 2 hitmen believed to be behind the murder of AKA in February last year. Now, the hitmen were reportedly hiding in the neighboring country, and a process was now underway to get them extradited into South Africa or back to South Africa. So, according to an Eswatini media report, the 2, who are brothers from Durban, were living in a house with one or another man. Right, they were living with each other with another man who is now on the run after the arrests of these 2. So the newspaper reported that the men were wanted in connection with the shooting of the musician, and were being extradited to South Africa. So we're gonna go through the article together. It was quite a lengthy article, but the details in it will kind of help us unpack as to why they could have assumed that those people were in relation with the AKA case. Now, it says that 2 SA suspected hitmen arrested in Eswatini, Bambani. Eswatini police have arrested 2 South African nationals believed to be hitmen who are reportedly wanted in connection with a number of murder cases, including that of a South African musician. The 2 South African nationals, who are aged between 28 and 29, are brothers who hail from Durban, KwaZulu-Natal. And in their home country, they are wanted to assist the police with information in the murder cases, including that of the musician and 3 taxi owners. So they were not only implicated, according to how they are reporting it here, it seems like they had 3 other cases of 3 taxi owners, and it is suspected that after committing the offenses, they came to hide in the kingdom of Eswatini, where they were renting a house. So when the members of the Royal Eswatini Police Service, REPS, pounced on them on Friday, they were reportedly found inside the house they were renting ever since their arrival in the country. It has been reliably gathered that there were 3 people living in the house, and the other one is still at large. In their home country, the duo with other suspects, who is now a fugitive, or the other suspect that ran away, are also wanted for alleged money laundering and kidnapping. So these people are sounding quite dangerous. They're sounding like people that are, no small time. They are sounding quite dangerous. So according to sources, in most of the murder cases, the suspects purportedly acted as inkabi, and they put it in Swati translation, tinkabi. Tinkabi, yes, is a word that is used in the neighboring country to refer to people who are hired and paid to end people's lives. The suspects are expected to make their magistrate court appearance in one of the country's magistrates court today. So today meaning Monday, the 26th. Is it the 26th of February? Yes. And also they are saying the suspects are expected to make their magistrate court appearance in one of the country's magistrates court today. In the Kingdom of Eswatini, they are facing charges of remaining in the country without valid documents authorizing them to do so. So they just jumped the border. They did not apply for the paperwork to stay in Eswatini. It's funny how when in South Africa we try to mention that there are some people who come illegally, we are made to keep quiet. I mean, on the other day, I also saw a comment of somebody calling us the X word just for mentioning this particular part. But in Eswatini, South Africans fled there, and they decided to deal with it legally. And we see nothing wrong with that as South Africans. The law is the law. You can't go to another country legally and then, it's not right. So Eswatini did what they did, which is their law in their country, and we have no problem with that. And in the Kingdom of Eswatini, they are facing charges of remaining in the country without valid documents authorizing them to do so. Their arrest comes after the prosecution of the neighboring country through their local counterparts moved an application for their suspects provisional arrest. So according to sources in South Africa, the suspects or some of the suspects is involved in the public transport industry, and some of the murder charges he's allegedly facing emanated from a dispute he had with some of his competitors in the business. So it sounds like these people are involved in the taxi business. They are Inkabis for the taxi business, allegedly. It's sounding like that from this article. And a provisional arrest is appropriate when the country making the request for extradition believes that there is a risk the fugitive will flee. Deputy Chief Police Information and Communications Officer Assistant Superintendent Nosipho Mguni only confirmed the arrest of the two South African nationals. She said that they received information that in their home country, the two were wanted on charges of murder. Mguni said pending the processing of their extradition papers, they would appear before the court to answer on the charges of having violated the country's immigration laws. Yes. Okay, so yes guys, it's happening and they have been caught. And it's not only that, they went on to describe what had happened regarding AKA's case and how their lives ended, and the whole video that was circulating on social media. And then they said notably the country and the Republic of South Africa had been working closely and tirelessly to ensure that a wanted person who escaped to hide in either of the countries was extradited. So that is good to know, Akfan, you know. And recently the South African Police Service, SAPS, handed over to their local counterparts Sfiso Twala, one of the suspects allegedly involved in the murder of a police officer and robbery at Sipho Faneni by Cash Hardware. It was also SAPS and the Interpol who assisted in the arrest of Patrick Bubesi Shongwe, the police officer who is accused of murdering his girlfriend, a nurse who was based in Hlatikulu Government Hospital. Shongwe was reportedly arrested by Interpol and South Africa while in Kokstad. So apparently there's another person who had ran to South Africa after doing a crime, after doing a murder case in Eswatini. They are a citizen of Eswatini, and they worked with Interpol as well as the South African police to have that person extradited. So that's good to know that there's such a working relationship with Eswatini and South Africa, and there's nothing wrong. Notice how nobody's calling them, we South Africans are not calling them the X word just for practicing their law. Okay, if they need to come back to South Africa to answer for their crimes, I'm sure South Africa will make it happen. So we went through the article, you guys, and those are some of the details that came out from this article. And I can see, hore, you know, they kind of made this conclusion. I don't know how it ended up that they ended up implicating that it's in relation with AKA. That to me doesn't make sense, because already it's sounding like these people were doing taxi hits, right? They were killing people that are from the taxi business. So how the link came up.
The story is very interesting. I thought I was going to stay this one out.
Welcome, Mr. Anonymous. Welcome.
I was just going to be an engineer dealing with the sound. So unfortunately, the story is calling for a third
Thank you.
view.
Thank you for joining us.
Right, so I just read the stories we were busy. I didn't even listen to what you're saying. And what I heard, though, is you emphasizing on the issue of illegal immigrants.
Yes.
To other countries. Well, in South Africa, there's a word for that, and we have been highlighting that word. We cannot shy away from it because we are called names. if
Yes,
that
we are
happens.
called names. Even someone tried it on the comment section. I just looked at it and I felt so defeated. I'm like, really now?
But the main point here is few things that are common.
Yeah,
Taxi
industry.
industry and crime. And my feeling, because I read here, they said the Eswatini people are working with SAPS
Yes,
with regards to this.
yes.
Initially, now I want to draw what makes this one unique. Why would SAPS come out and say, someone in SAPS come out and say, this is a lie, this is not true? It could make a good closing, considering that also we're going to elections. It was going to make a very good show for the SAPS.
It was. Ne?
Yeah, but here's
But
the problem. And
Someone said,
someone put a stop on it, and it's a special someone. We are going there. What could have happened initially is that there might have been people up there who were happy and excited and said, these people come from KZN, taxi industry, as we know. We know how taxi industry works.
yes,
All people that have worked in taxi industry, most of them, by the way, you might be surprised to find them in the cold case unit. Just by reading, it's public information. If you read, you might find them there. And it shouldn't be surprising that you hear stories such as these people could have been the same people that took AKA's life and a friend. But here's the difference.
what's the difference?
Number one, the province.
KZN.
This is KZN. And from what we have been seeing, SAPS in KZN, and I'm going to say other provinces, those are two different SAPSs, if you ask me. Those ones, they don't take things lightly, and they don't like lying a lot. I'm not going to say who's lying here, but KZN,
They don't like to overpromise.
yeah. And guess who's saying that is not true? Mkhwanazi.
Mkhwanazi.
Remember Mkhwanazi saying that
Tenant General Mkhwanazi.
saying to minister, I don't know where he got that.
There's a clip of him saying that
Yes.
with regards to AKA's case when the minister was giving an update on the media and
Yes.
he says, I don't know where
Yes.
he's getting all of that.
So, not to say that there might have been or there might be something brewing there, but Mkhwanazi does not play along for me. He's a person who wants to be sure about things.
Before they released
And
to
you
the
remember
public.
Mkhwanazi also with Ngizwe's case.
What did he do with Ngizu's case? I wasn't following.
Wasn't he the one who was interpreting Aikal?
Was he?
It looks the same, I don't know.
I don't remember. It's been
That
long.
policeman who said there's nothing wrong with.
Oh, Aikali.
Hey.
Yes. When it was still hot,
Yes.
they were taking him and arresting him and all of that.
Yes.
Yeah, you did mention that it's not something that will instigate violence.
So from here, you could see now that this is a person who does not play the same sound as other SAPS people would play.
I know where I remember him from.
Yeah.
When he called out the SAPS.
Yes,
And-
for liquor.
Yes.
We are
And
just.
he said, you know, it sometimes they are told, don't go there.
Yes,
He doesn't
yes.
understand what's so special
Yes.
about,
Yes.
you know, that really caught my attention from him.
This is the man. That's what I'm saying. This is the person who now you can see already that there's a lot of things. And by the way, where is Warrant Officer Makubo coming from?
KZN?
KZN. Now I think you are putting two and two together.
And
this is the same KZN.
Warrant Officer Makhuben KZN is the one investigating these taxi industry.
Yes, it's the same warrant officer who came to Senzo's case and said to Mr. Yebo, he said, "You're lying.
You're lying."
You know.
And then also, what's the other thing that he did?
He arrested
accused number 5.
He arrested
He's the one who was
number 5.
investigating him and eventually arrested
So
him.
you are already seeing the differences. And also to add, this is the same KZN that, in my own opinion, refused with that case of Butelis. In my own opinion. This is the same KZN who made it difficult for that case to be available, that docket to be available.
Hence the new one was
came
opened.
to play. So these are the differences that you can draw. So that's why I got interested, because when I was reading and I Googled this man, I'm looking, this is the same. In my mind, I was already thinking, Mkhwanazi is this name, I've heard it. This is someone who doesn't play the same ball game that we are seeing in this. Most people have been saying that he must be a minister of police. Even EFF called for him to be a minister of police. So this, in my opinion, is a man who has credibility in the public eye. In what we have had, he's got that credibility.
And also, I also can appreciate him not hyping the public up. They are not done with the investigation. And he tries his best to say, we are not done with the investigation. We would not like to release information that will compromise the investigation. That's what I'm feeling with the case. And I can even see with the family. The father had an interview recently, and he was saying that the police do communicate with them. They do talk to them. So it's not like they are clueless. They're not getting updates like the Meyiwa family. They are getting updates.
Yes.
So whenever things develop in the investigation, they let them know. So for us as the public, we will find out once the investigation is concluded and they're going to court.
Yes.
I don't think
it's not a case that can be used to campaign.
Yeah.
So that's basically the differences here. Just to draw the differences, this is not Gauteng. And this case is still very much as hot as you can think of, meaning it does not fall within the boundaries of cold cases. One has to wonder, though, what would have happened if this case and these stories, I mean, this is a publication from Eswatini.
Yes.
They cannot just wake up and write things like that. That's what I want to understand. They cannot. How would they found out that this is the case? They cannot just wake up and say, these people are coming from Durban. Oh, we heard of AKA. Oh, by the way, AKA, let's throw AKA here. Someone in South Africa must have created that precedent, in my own opinion.
In your opinion.
And that person,
speculating.
And that person is definitely not coming, or is not part of the SAPS from KZN.
No. Because I was like, how convenient to link the Inkabis from the taxi industry and the AKA.
It would have closed the case. You know how easy if this person accepted this, because the next thing we're gonna get a confession maybe from Eswatini. And then
since they're apprehended.
Yes, and then this closes everything. But this person says no. Same way Warrant Officer Makhubo acted.
It's giving Senzo Meyiwa case. I don't wanna lie.
It would have went there.
Yeah.
If it was in a different province. I don't want to say provinces here.
Okay.
Yeah, well, but all I can say, it's in KZN. Rest assured that at least few things will be followed.
It's the
And I'm sure once
jurisdiction
the case starts, you will see a different judge. You'll see different judges, because judges there also. You can almost draw a difference between the two.
they are able to recuse themselves.
And they are able to kick the case out. I mean, get out of here. You lying.
Telling us about the April that went to a court in
I'm not
Maritzburg.
saying things are not happening in KZN, in the SAPS in KZN. No,
You're not saying
I'm not.
it's clean.
I'm not saying they are clean. But when it comes to these big cases, they don't play. They don't just throw in, well, they in Kabila from Durban, someone was shot from Durban, there are 4. It makes sense.
I hear you.
Yeah, but the question is, who created that story from Eswatini? Who talked to those journalists to say this is the case,
Link these people to AKA.
or not even link, or who said let me run these people's whatever that I need to run, link them to, or they are linked to this case? Who said that?
Be interesting to talk.
This is an international
the
situation.
journalist who wrote the article.
Do you understand? That's an international situation. Who can just write nje about matters of South Africa like that?
What an interesting point that you're raising.
So, we if you ask me, I would say there are different horses. The other one is pulling, going the other side, and the other one is pulling, going the other side. And that's how Senzo Meyiwa's case in this state was born.
Oh. Well, yeah, that was something I was trying to figure out the whole day. I mean, thinking, how could they have possibly linked these people? You know, and I had no idea how I was going to answer that question. Well, Mr. Anonymous, thank you. Then a South African publication started wanting to find out after the story broke of Eswatini newspaper, and they started now inquiring about. And as they inquired, they found out information. In fact, they got a statement from the KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. And he said the record straight on reports that suspects have been arrested. He corrected the Eswatini media reports about the 2 arrested suspects. Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi said that he has noted with concern and wishes to rectify the reports. Mkhwanazi confirmed that 2 suspects were indeed arrested and are waiting to be extradited to South Africa. However, their charges have nothing to do with AKA and Tibz murder case, as suggested by the media reports from Eswatini. He said, and I quote, "I wish to place it on record that the suspects in question will be coming back to South Africa to face a case of murder and attempted murder." Mkhwanazi said that these suspects face charges of murder, attempted murder, where a man who was a passenger in a vehicle was shot dead in Berea on March the 6th last year. So this is shortly after the AKA incident.
You see what, and it would have made sense. So they shot that person when they were running.
Yeah.
Oh, it was after or before?
It was after, because AKA's
So they
demise
were
was on the 10th
running
of
or something.
February. It was,
story
it
was
was like
gonna
a month later.
The story was gonna match. Or this person identified. And what I like about KZN police, they have mouth. They speak. They use that, and it's a weapon. See what this has done? It has created that cloud that could have waited, and no
7
comment.
years.
See, no comment under this.
It's not
It
good.
was gonna create that time of navigating and power of pushing and pushing and pushing and eventually swaying a certain direction. But by saying, I've noted with concern and I'd like to rectify, don't take those things lightly. This is someone who's confident in what they're doing. And they're saying this so that even if that power comes, by the time
already
it comes,
out in the
it's
public.
already been killed by the fact that these people have debunked it on a public space. So if you want to shout, it will be late.
Well, it turns out the driver of the vehicle survived the shooting and managed to drive to a fuel station in Beria where she sought assistance. So it was a female. And he said investigations led to the suspects being traced to where they were hiding in Eswatini. He thanked the authorities in Eswatini for their commitment to eradicate cross-border and transnational crimes that threaten law and order in neighboring countries. I have to emphasize, because some people here decide to call us by names that we are not, okay? Mkhwanazi said that while he acknowledged AKA's death was a matter of public interest nationally and internationally, police would notify families of the dead and then the public through the media of any developments, of which even AKA's family, his father and mother, have been saying that the police do speak to us. They update us. The KZN police, I'm going to assume, in this instance, because they are taking ownership of it, that we are updating the families. Understand? So investigations into that particular matter, aka at the sensitive stage, and police do not want to communicate information that may compromise the investigation, which I fully support. It sounds like they know what they're doing.
Yes.
And the AKA and Tibz murder case is a complex one, and there was and still are tons of evidential information to be analyzed and processed. So this sounds to me like police officers who don't want to botch this case, who don't want to compromise it. They want to make sure that they have the right people.
Yes.
So this is a prosecution-led investigation, and when the police have tied all the loose ends and covered all the loopholes, an announcement into the investigation and the progress will be communicated. So I appreciate this.
That's how this is supposed to be handled. That's an international standard of handling a situation of this nature.
Instead of getting us high and excited.
You look the issue of Tupac in
How
America
many years
and how it has been.
handled.
We have had speculations.
Yes.
But to hear about the SAPS coming out and saying, yeah, we have caught these killers, 1, 2, 3. No,
Don't rush.
they don't rush. And this is how you deal with situations that
So that you
has
get
pressure
the right
of the
people,
public. Obviously, there is pressure on this. But work at your own pace. Because
Get
now,
the right people.
yes,
Get the right people placed.
that's how the case of Senzo was. It is today what it is. But in that being said, they must work on it swiftly so that it doesn't have to give pressure on the side of the cold case. This case, we know these cases, they are heavy. Next thing, they are falling under cold case. Cold case has a lot of cases to deal with, you see. And we don't want them to have to deal with this issue. I mean, the
have
SAPS at the first level, they must be able to deal with some of these cases. Because, if it goes to cold cases,
Oh, my way.
and then there's going to be too much pressure there. If you
Too
get
many
me,
confessions.
I'm not saying confessions must not be there, but I'm saying I would really, considering the size of cold case team, I would really
And the
not.
workload they already
Yeah, I
have.
would really not want this case to fall within their jurisdiction.
It's still being investigated. So,
Yes,
guys, it's not
yes.
cold yet. As long as it's still being investigated, it's not cold.
Because next thing you might be hearing in Senzo's case that, in fact, part of the people, they had something to do with AKA. But things happen in South Africa of it. Next thing, the case of AKA is embedded there. And it's one. I'm laughing. I'm not supposed to laugh, but I mean, you know how it is, man. Someone confess, next thing leads to another, and next thing we sit here, we analyze that case every day.
We're listening
trial
every
within
day.
a trial of confessions and whatnot. Things that are being added, drips and drops of information, and I mean, we don't want to say more. You know, why I would not enjoy that case goes to that side. It's better it is solved at that level where people still can freely speak, and when they feel that there's something that needs to be debunked, and they debunk it just right there in public. So that's my opinion.
And what gives me peace about it, guys, it's not that we don't care about what happened to AKA.
We do.
We really much do. But the fact that the family is being updated. What I had a problem with the Meyiwa case was the family was not getting updates. It went quiet.
Yeah, and
Even
you see,
when
one can
Senzo's
argue
father
that
was
they
still alive.
are updated in a certain way, one way or another. Then next thing we need to have advocates from a certain party come in and then interfere, and so that something can be done. We don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want the issue of advocates updating the family and whatnot. It's better now.
The police
it's like
are
this. The
doing it,
police are doing the
yes.
job, and then next thing we hear, the advocate knows everything about the updates of the case and whatnot. No, it's better this way.
Yeah, it's better this way, you guys. It is.
We have been traumatized.
Yeah. Asafun. So guys, tell us what you think in the comment section down below. Hopefully you enjoyed this update, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.